going to rewrite out A, and I'm going to leave some space after each one. First of all, can we add these fractions together right now? No, because what is the rule for adding fractions? You need a common denominator. So sometimes you can sort of think, I need to make a common denominator with my numbers, and I also need to make a common denominator with my variables. So with my numbers, can you see that you have a 7 and a 3? If you just had fractions with a 7 on the bottom and a 3 on the bottom, you would make your common denominator what? 21. So I would need to, and I'm going to change colors here, I need to multiply the bottom of this one by 3, and I also need to multiply the top of that one by 3, so I'm multiplying by 1. And this one, I'm going to need to multiply the bottom by 7 and the top by 7. I'm still multiplying by 1, but that will give me a common denominator of 21. Then I look at my variables. Are there variables in my denominator? Yes. This one has an x. This one's missing the x. So I would need to make sure I have an x on the bottom there, which means I have to multiply by an x on the top there. Now I'm going to take 2 steps here. I'm okay if you do this in 1 step. But my first step, I'm just going to multiply this up. 2 times 3 is 6, x times x squared, over 21x, and 7 times 5 is 35, over 21x, just to see that you have a common denominator. I am okay if you would go directly from here to here with 21x on the bottom and say I have 6x squared plus 35. There's my final answer. Can I simplify anything? No, because this adding means this is one big factor. The only way that big factor could get canceled out is if it was identical on the bottom. So this would be our final answer. The big part again, we make it a little smaller. Scroll back up, split my page in half here, and look at part B. Again, in part B, I'm going to rewrite it, leave some space beside each one, and start with my numbers. In order to subtract these fractions, I need a common denominator. In my denominator, my numbers are 4 and 5. That's not the same. So what would I need to multiply by? Well, to get them to be the same, what's the common denominator between 4 and 5? 20. So this one needs to be multiplied by 4, which means I have to multiply by 4 over 4. Multiplying by 1. And this one will need to be multiplied by 5. Next, we look at variables. Okay? This one has an A. This one doesn't have an A. So I'm going to need an A in the second. This one has one B. This one has a B squared. Does it make sense that this first one needs another B to make a B squared? Are you okay if we go right away to writing at the bottom? Common denominator now is going to be 20AB squared. The first term, when I multiply the tops, because how do we multiply fractions? We multiply the tops, we multiply the bottoms. I'm going to get a 16b. And the second one, when I multiply the tops, minus 15a. Again, remember, this is all grouped together as one single term. The only way I could cancel that out is if I had that identical term on the bottom. But some people will be tempted like, ooh, can I cancel out the b's? No. Can only simplify if you're multiplied, and the factor is identical. Okay, so try a few of these. Give you some time to work on 3, 4, and 5.